I beat all 5 Extinction maps in the Big 26, something that definitely hasn't been done before. Extinction is a 13-year-old abandoned game mode that starts with point of contact. Given it's the first map, it's rather straightforward, so you can basically run and gun your way through the map with a few caveats. The first problem area is the city. In the first area, you can puppy guard the drill with virtual immunity, but the city is the first bump in spawn rate and enemy types, which means you can get swarmed very easily. And running away isn't a get out of jail free card because Scorpion, Seekers, and Scouts. If you manage this, then the rest of the map should be relatively easy until the final hive. If you struggled like I did off camera, here's how I beat it. On a blind playthrough, you'd seek out some combination of, I don't know, a shotgun, an LMG, assault rifle, you know, something to keep you cool up close, something with a lot of bullets for the horde clearing and things of that nature. But if you watch a guide, you'll learn that the MR28 is actually an S tier gun for the first 2 maps. The city limits horizontal movement, but there's massive lanes which the MR28 absolutely destroys. It's also one of the most efficient distributors of Scout and Scorpion guts, which comes in handy when you need to jump out of the metaphorical window. Pair this with virtually anything fully automatic, maybe an SMG for movement speed, and you're golden. If you have the Sentry, use that, but if not, the starter IMS will work. Basically, place it near you or the drill, or both, and shoot at everything before it gets in range of the drill, and then the IMS will take out anything that slips through or cover you while you're reloading. In the next area, you basically get omnidirectional movement, so you don't need to be a statue and puppy guard the drill. You can use the IMS or the Sentry to puppy guard said drill, and you can just run around horde clearing, and then when you hear enemies on the drill, you can toss a grenade, you can do whatever you want. If you haven't found or bought the chainsaw yet, it is near this hive. You can't miss it. After you acquire this, it's basically just don't be dog shit. Yeah, the last hive might give you some trouble just because they throw the kitchen sink at you, but honestly, you can post up in the Bach and be fine as long as you prioritize Scorpions. You should be able to eliminate everything else before it gets to you, and on the 3 to 4 times a hunter or rhino slips through, you can just mag dump them with the chainsaw. After that, arm/call in the nuke and haul ass. Don't give a fuck about anything, just get distance. If something catches up to you, swap to the chainsaw, mow them down, and then switch back to your best movement weapon. Board the helicopter and enjoy the scene. Before map 2, this is my fucking video, so for the rest of the runtime, it will be told from my perspective with a little bit of hindsight. Or at least I'll try to tell it from my perspective. So Nightfall. Nightfall is the same scheme with a bump in difficulty, and on this map you need a bit of a plan. I was split between 2 opening strategies. I don't know which one won for me, so I'll explain them both. My first strat was to go pistols only for the first 2 hives using 1 bullet per scout until I unlocked the LSAT. The LSAT is great for the breeder challenge. Speaking of the breeder, despite her intimidating appearance, she's a bit of a glass cannon. As long as I stayed within sprinting distance of cover, she really wasn't a problem. After her being the breeder, it's time to make pimp decisions. At this point, the map is easy, but there's 2 run enders, rhinos and scorpions. If there isn't a wall between you and its tail, a scorpion can hit you virtually no matter what, and it's always going to be at the most inconvenient time or at an insane fire rate. Rhinos are rhinos, a massive time and ammo investment. Because of those, I started crutching the Sentry. This allowed me to focus on scorpions and solo rhinos where necessary. Best case scenario, the turret and I were both shooting at the rhino, but this is war. The best case scenario is going home alive, or not being there in the first place. Anyways, if you can handle the rhinos, it's a boat race to the final hive. After defeating the final hive, I was teleported to this boss fight. This is a longer buff version of the mini breeder. It's implied and quite obvious that this is the same breeder, but for some reason this one just looks noticeably bigger in the in-game. There's a size joke to be made, but I'm not smart enough to make it. Besides that, I failed my first attempt at this because I tried to fight the breeder with the same weapon I handled the grunts with. That led to some issues, but on my second attempt, I fought the breeder almost exclusively with Weapon X, and it's awesome because I didn't have to aim for weak spots. In the end, we didn't get Samantha, but we killed the breeder. Map 3, Mayday. This map can be a little tricky because the first 2 teach you basically lane control, but on Mayday the lanes are shorter and the overall space is shrunken. Besides that, the spawns aren't that aggressive, and the one 1, the run enders aren't that bad. There's rhinos per usual and cedars. Cedars shoot spores that mag dump you, and by the way, killing the cedar does not despawn the spores, so run ender for obvious reasons. Mayday is rather easy to me for the most part, with the sketch area being this spot after being brought back to the deck. It looks fine on paper, but the problem is if you have to jump out the window, there's no sight lines on the drill, or worse, your sentry, until you get back upstairs. After this hive is a combination of don't be dog shit and don't die trying to do challenges. Then you reach the boss. At first, I thought the Kraken was unfair. You're getting swarmed by scouts, hunters, all while being attacked off screen by the Kraken. Seems like bullshit. But halfway through my second attempt, I realized the gimmick. The boss attacks are called out by your in-game character, and the Kraken swings where you are when the character calls it out. So you can literally avoid the Kraken by not being a dumbass. Kraken aside, scouts and hunters spawn in waves. While it's annoying at first, they spawn so you have enough money to win this fight. Speaking of fighting, Weapon X is available on Mayday, and the fight is significantly easier with it, and that's where the conversation ends about Weapon X, because I didn't find it. So this is how I beat the Kraken without Weapon X. I went in with the bulldog and a chainsaw, which you should have been seeing this entire time. I used the bulldog for horde clearing and a combination of the chainsaw and sea whiz to beat the Kraken. Map 4 is Awakening, a beautiful map with a cool color scheme and a blend of everything from lanes to CQC, and that's where the positives end. This map does everything in its power to nuke your run. Speaking of runs, your run enders this time are as followed. Cedars are replaced by gargoyles. These ugly fuckers can fly, they're tankier than hunters, and they can mag dump you, not to mention they can also clip through the map and shoot you while clipping through said map. Scorpions, the classic run enders, but on this map they spawn more aggressively and have extreme angles and limbs to shoot you from. One scorpion isn't a problem, but 3 can spawn at a time. In theory, an infinite amount can be active at any given time, but the most I've seen was 4. Then there is the Phantom, a armored teleporting hunter with enhanced movement. Now, I have a burning hatred for this mob. They can teleport to you and get freebies off, all while being a massive ammo investment, or they can teleport to your sentry and block it from firing, or just outright destroy it. Then there's the Mammoth, a teleporting rhino. Yes, you heard that right. A teleporting rhino. The only saving grace is he doesn't spam it like that bitch ass Phantom. And the last run ender is the map itself. I never died to it, but a gargoyle clipping through a wall basically gives it God mode, and there's nothing more dangerous than a flying lizard with God mode and a Glock 19. There's also falling off the map, which ordinarily is a skill issue, but when you're balancing all this plus audio and visually disorienting plants, it's basically just sensory overload, alright? A bit much. Nonetheless, the strat is if you go back here, you'll get a free arc attachment. You will get jumped by a mob, but it's alright, don't be dog shit. I paired it with the Ripper because with this you get SMG movement with AR power. At this point, it's upgrade armor as a get out of jail free card, and upgrade and rely on your sentry instead of 2 primaries. After this is a combination of strategy and, like I said, don't be dog shit. Unlike the previous 3 maps, you're heavily incentivized to put self-preservation over the drill. The map is brutal and there's a lot of situations where as a solo player you simply don't stand a chance, but you got to make it out and use all the tools at your disposal. Eventually you get to the final room, which I ain't gonna lie, this is a breeze. Nothing to say but this room is very engaging. Outside of that, nothing to say but we stole the Cortex and hauled ass. Now you have significantly less time than in point of contact to get to the chopper. I got so wrapped up in self-preservation, I forgot the Cortex is literally a nuke every time it's ready. After 3 gates, we make it to exfil. Now, map 4. This map scales faster than the others, so you have to be prepared. The map has 3 sections, and I think the difficulty varies depending on the order you do them. I chose to go right and take on the mall style building first, simply because it's the hardest building to defeat, so I wanted to knock it out before the spawn scale to oblivion. Now, to be honest, I had to farm and get a lot of teeth perks because I didn't think this map was possible without an arc attachment, and it's only possible to get that with Master Scavenger. So I farmed by doing a simple exploit. You'll need 2 controllers and a level 6 character. You go to point of contact, complete the first challenge or the first hive, and get your second controller to put 2 points into a grenade turret. On your main controller, run to this area, drop the drill on the platform. After that, sprint, jump, and pull out a box at midair before landing on said ladder. Without leaving the ladder, grab the drill, run back to the spawn area, and get on the grenade turret. Use the second controller to double tap X to move the drill. It should turn golden or red. And after that, just shoot at the floor and rig your controller to fire indefinitely. If you're doing the explode with a wire controller, this will go on as long as your Xbox is, well, alive. I let this farm continuously for 3 days before being able to afford what I need. Shout out to the Xbox Series X because it didn't even blink during that entire 3 days. Back to Exodus with extra cast and start with a skill point. I get an arc attachment for the revolver, and then I do the first gate. Getting an attachment on your pistol is a teeth upgrade. After the first gate, I buy the chainsaw, and this map is basically the easiest of the 5 just because, well, I'm familiar with it after doing it for like 4 or 5 hours. If you spend a majority of the map indoors, gargoyles aren't a problem. Along with that, phantoms don't spawn as often, and rhinos don't appear until the final gate, so you can breeze through the map, but you have to use your skill points to prepare for the final battle, and you have to use them very wisely. This one was the most difficult for me, but if you watch this speed run, you'll learn that the boss fight is tied to how much money you earn. Therefore, if you go big game hunting, it will end faster. That goes completely out the window with the amount of shit they throw at you. Anyways, check out the final battle. While you got the chance. Holy fuck, I got a chance to reload. Bruh. What? They spawned at the block its ladder side. That's wild. What?
seeing a large group of gargoyles inbound. We are go for launch. Stand by for Cortex detonation.
I ain't gonna lie, these ancestors are a little OP, dude. They can just keep spamming that shit through the shield. Oh man.
Detonate the Cortex! Now!
Oh, let's go. Did we do it? We did it! Let's go! First try, baby! Oh, that's all 4 maps finally done! Solo, too. Oh my goodness, brother. I was wondering why it was going crazy. I was like, yo, I could probably just hug this thing and survive it out. I didn't even realize that the meter filled up. Oh my goodness, give me my cuts. Anyways, this video is extremely late, but what was supposed to happen was I was supposed to drop this video at the end of us beating all the Extinction maps on Ghost, and our next game that we're currently streaming is Surrounded. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Call of Duty Ghost is my favorite Call of Duty of all time, and that sounds crazy, but I did not play MW2 or Black Ops 2 online. I feel like you don't really have to make an excuse anymore for Call of Duty Ghost being your favorite, because it's carved out a nice niche community on like short form content and things of that nature. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this blast back to 2013. That's insane. And well, yeah, here's 20 seconds of a random song.